Mabuhay, kapisanan, kasaysayan, Pilipinas. Ako po si Shout Suwa, isang public historian. Welcome to Vibal Group, Kasaysayan, Kaysaya. Ayan mga kaibigan. Kumusta po kayo? Well, 7:30 na tayo halos nakapasok. Patawarin niyo ako sapagkat ako po ay nakatulog. Alam niyo, hindi ko ito excuse. Pero sa totoo lang, nakakapagod po yung last few weeks natin na talagang pinipilit nating tapusin ang dissertation natin at natapos naman po, no? Awa ng Diyos. Noong February 12 yan po ay naisumite at yung mga sunod-sunod po na talks kasi ang February po para yung parang August din yan dahil Heritage Month, may EDSA Revolution, no? So, yung EDSA Revolution po, ay, sandali. Yung EDSA Revolution po, parang first time po na naging bahagi ako nung private sector-led initiative, yung tinatawag na Buhay ang EDSA Network Committee. At ako po ay, yung nakaraan po na show sa Club Filipino noong Sunday, ako po yung sumulat nun. Tingnan nyo sa Buhay ang EDSA Network Committee, yung show na iyon, at ako pong sumulat, kasama ang narrator po na bumasa ng aking spills ay si Dino Jaime Fabregas. So, katuwang namin dyan, si Floyd Quintos, no? Of course, si Ma'am Gingdeles po yung talagang pinuno namin dyan, si Ma'am Aleta ng People Power Volunteers Movement, no? At syempre, nandyan din ang mga kaibigan natin, no? Nag-perform, no? Kasama natin. Ang director niyan, si Flo Francisco Reyes, si Janice D, no? Nandyan si Probe, Jen Aquino, si Selena ko, syempre kasama natin sa Insight Go. Kasama natin Arman Ferrer, no? Bayang Barrios, si Ma'am Chichi Villanueva, no? Edro Abraham, Floyd Quintos, no? Yan, no? At mga kasama sa entablado, no? Ateneo. Salamat po, no? Thank you very much kasi ganda-ganda ng show. Kiko Aquino D, kung hindi dahil sa'yo, hindi ko mapapasok yung show na yan, no? Yung komite na yan. Francis Aquino D, maraming salamat po. Pinapasalamatan ko rin dahil nirepresent ko doon bilang Pangulo ng aktivista. Of course, si Lenny Velasco Bicol ng Dakila. Hindi mangyayari yon kung hindi nila ako pinayagang kunin yung representation na yon. I'm very, very happy na naging bahagi ako ng pagdiriwang ng People Power Day kahit na hindi na siya holiday. No? Pagtawanan na lang natin yan kasi nagdiwang naman yung buong bayan mahal, ayon sa SWS survey, ang diwa ng EDSA po, ayon sa mga tao ng Pilipinas, majority pa rin ang nagsasabing mahalaga pa rin ang diwa ng EDSA. Mabuhay. Mabuhay po tayo. So, binabati din natin ang ating mga kasama sa, siyempre, hindi natin pwedeng baliwalain, no? Ang ating mga kasama na talagang pinagtsatsagaan ako, no? Wala akong iba kundi ang ating mga kasama sa Vibal Group. No? Wala sa Vibal Group, no? Siyempre, kasama natin si Bunjay Sedutan, o si Aurelius Sedutan, palakpakan naman natin ngayong gabi sa kasama natin. Richard, Lyle, Dino, Sarah Sunga, Jessa, Pomar, Venice Balboa de la Cruz, Kim Carlo Rente, Rio Brehino Lim, Christine Mandigma at Gas Vibal sa kanilang tiwala. No? Alam nyo, kahit ganito lang po tayo, we will make sure that all our shows will be great. No? Salamat po sa mga nanonood. No? Alex Javier Alvarez, Debbie Karen Delzano, KF Diaz, good evening po. Wala nang certificate sa registration kasi panahon pa ng pandemic yun. No? O hindi na tayo makakaroon. Di ba, Bujay? So, sorry po. No? Pang ano na lang ito for educational purposes na lang po talaga. Oo. Pero pasensya na ho kayo. Pero salamat po. Salamat. Okay, napakahalaga po ng show natin ngayon kasi pagpapatuloy po natin yung ating pag-uusap with a special person, si yung isang cultural worker, heritage advocate, isa siyang writer, history writer, public history writer, at pero siya, mas kilala siya bilang food historian. Pero ang topic po natin ay ang Philippine Centennial, ang Pagdiriwang noong 1998. Dahil siya po ay commissioner ng National Centennial Commission. So atin pong ipe-play muli ang ating panayam, ang ikalawang bahagi ng ating panayam tungkol sa Philippine Centennial. So yung last week o yung 2 weeks ago, bago si Sir Ivan, pinag-usapan natin yung kung paano nagsimula ang National Centennial Commission, ano yung mga goals niya, paano nabuo ito. Actually, ang revelation doon mga advertising executives pala ang makasama doon, yung mga unang nag-push. Kaya naging galing sa advertising yung initiative. Kaya napakasaya, ang dami-daming commercials na lumaganap talaga yung Philippine Centennial. Na hindi nagagawa sa ibang pagdiriwang. Hindi natin nagawa yan doon sa National Quincentennial Committee precisely because I never understood it until the interview with Felice Prudente na mga executives pala talaga ng advertising. Sana pala sa susunod, sila muna yung lalapitan natin. Pag gusto natin na, Ian Alfonso, tandaan mo yan, O gusto natin magkaroon ng, tsaka si Eupemio Agbayani, kung nakikinig ka. Dilma Biones Chua, my God, I love you, Mama. No? Kung nakikinig kayo, Eupemio Agbayani, tandaan natin, kung gusto natin ng commemoration na maganda at malaganap, lapitan natin muna yung mga advertising. Ayan, Vilma Briones Chua, my mother, I love you. Wally Mikosa, Ryan Jackie Palat, KF Diaz, Eden Ramos. Salamat. Makasaysayang gabi po. Dr. Xiao, love you. Hindi pa, although may grade na ako, hanggat hindi po inaproba ng Board of Regents, hindi pa tayo doktor. Kaso hinahayaan ko na lang yung iba na tumawag. Okay, ito po ang ikalawang bahagi ng ating interview. Siguro bago yan, mag-commercial muna tayo. Commercial gap muna tayo para after that, pakinggan natin ang first gap ng ang second part ng interview kay Ma'am Felice Prudente Santa Maria.
Bertong kunat! Daryong Dagol! Ano tong balitang pinagkakalat mo dito sa baluarte ko, ha?
Anong balita?
Huwag ka na magmaang-maangan pa!
Ayun ba? Hindi ba totoo naman? Nasagi ang lunas sa COVID. Alam mo ba kung nasaan naman kang mayaw? Nasaan naga talaga yun? At higit sa lahat, fake news talaga yung ads sa revolution.
Ungas ka ba? Ano ba pinagsasabi mo? Saan mo pinagkukuha yan?
Siyempre, nag-research ako, sa Tuktuk University. Palibasa kasi at umugot ka na at laos, kaya hindi mo alam yun.
Lord naman! Magpaulan ka naman ng katalinuhan!
reliable source of information, sari-saring content na isinulat ng mga eksperto, mga librong di kalidad na abot hanggang sa doomsday, tumawag ka lang sa akin. By the way, hindi ako si Lord. Ako si Vibal.
O pre, tingnan mo to. Di ba sabi ko sa'yo, totoo ang EDSA Revolution?
Ah, oo nga no. O tapos ito, wala pala talaga sa Naga ang bulkang mayon.
Sabi ko sa'yo eh.
Mga kaibigan, Ma'am Felice Prudente Santa Maria, the second part of our interview. My next set of questions would concern yung the Centennial and broadcasting. Oh?
Okay.
Ang question ko ay, mayroon bang parang move yung National Centennial Commission to convince broadcasters to have a TV show on Rizal's life or yung mga ganun?
I have to confess, I am not too sure about the details of how all of that worked. But definitely, when we had the early clusters, the early conferences, all the key people there were in positions to do all of that.
Good. So, for example, the decision to create an Philippine broadcast pool. Because
Yes.
remember that this, I think, one of the very rare times that all the competing, at that time, may network wars, all the competing media networks have to come together to cover D-Day, which was June 12. All the resources, camera, hosts,
Yes.
people, cameraman, were covered the event, and all channels except Channel 2, because Channel 2 did regular programming during the Centennial Parade. But they gave their their equipment, and all of the other channels, lahat sila yun ang palabas. Like
Yes.
walang ibang palabas, no? You have a story on how that was thought of or how it came about?
No, I honestly don't. But you can be sure, because of the strength of the advertising foundation
Yun, yeah.
and its very close alliances with the broadcasting. There was a group of broadcasters. They also had a group because they would give each other awards, that sort of thing. So there was also a broadcasting association. When you put these two together, it happens.
Yeah, parang ang dating kasi dyan, if one network creates for example, ang mga drama na naalala ko noon, there was one GMA special on the Noli and Del Fili, which was called Relicario, or a special on Josephine Bracken and Rizal's love life in the Pitan, that that the advertisers support the Centennial, the advertisers are going to give to that program, diba?
Yes. And no, in fairness, nobody wanted to be left out.
Yes.
It got to that stage where nobody wanted to be left out.
Right.
And that's when we kept saying, like when I would go out and I would speak. And so I'd be in Mindanao, Visayas, Baguio, whatever. And I always said, one of the things you can do is put out your flag. Number one. You can sing the national anthem. I said, these little rituals,
Right.
this is already your way of participating. And I said, and on the 12th, I remember I used to tell someone, wait, luto naman kayo ng pagkain Pilipino? Pwede ba? Dapat ang pagkain natin kada June 12 should be Filipino food.
Ganda.
Diba?
I'll tell you something, ma'am. Kasi I don't know if there was I'm sure there was a flag industry every
You
June.
don't know the story. You
Oh.
don't know the story about the flag?
Yeah, please tell us. Kasi parang ang observation ko, after the Philippine Centennial, every year na, especially on May 28 to June 12, na parang ang dami-dami nang nagbebenta ng little flags like this. Na ang tingin ko, wala naman sigurong mag-try na mag-produce nito kung wala bumibili. So, ibig sabihin, may
Totoo.
bumibili talaga at naglalagay at
Oh.
naglalagay. So, I think yung advocacy nyo, naging totoo na siya for many of us. Di ba? So, tell me about it.
Well, what you might not know, and for us, we were horrified. There was a meeting, a meeting of the core group, and it was reported that we were not able to make the number of flags that we needed because we didn't have the cloth.
Ooh.
Because remember, we don't have a textile industry anymore. You know what I mean, right? Our textiles are imported.
Important.
So even the material for the Philippine flag had to be imported. In the meantime, we wanted the shade, the correct shade
Yes,
of blue to be the one on the flag.
that's true.
So we got the, what is that, Pantone ba yan? Like we got the
Yeah,
number,
Pantone, yes.
Pantone, the number of that, no? Doi had to get someone with the help of the flag makers. Kasi we have
Right.
flag makers. And they were the ones who said, malaki pong problema ito kasi nga wala yung tela. Okay.
Oh my God.
So with their help, Doi sent somebody, I think, was it to Taiwan? And I don't know where, I forgot, take that back. Anyway, he sent someone to talk to the people making the fabric and told them, we're going to have this Centennial, and if you make this color of blue, we definitely are going to buy it, and you are definitely going to sell it. But it was that bad.
Wow.
Those are the untold stories. I mean,
But
who
they were
would have
able to
thought?
produce. They were able to produce the needed one for June of 1998. Wow.
Right, and more and
Wow.
more and more and more. You see, but that's it. People don't realize sometimes that to protect your country's identity, and you have somebody has to realize what's going on and has to go out of their way to make sure things are correct.
Ibig sabihin, buti na lang nagmo-monitor si Doy. Diba?
Kasi nagulat kami. Sabi namin, what do you mean they cannot produce the flags? Why not? Ang dami-dami dyan nagtitinda every June 12. Tapos ngayon, na kailangan natin mas marami. Walang flag. Kasi we were also saying all the flags that are old and that are torn need to be changed already.
That's true. Yes.
And there was, I think there was even this, there was already an adopt, like companies would adopt places that had old flags, and then they would give them a new flag. Meron yan noon eh. I just don't remember the mechanics kasi the flag was not part of my part of my function. So yun may mga ganyan. It had to be down to the detail. Tapos the facsimiles, okay? Like we needed to have in the results sites facsimiles of Mi Ultimo Adios, Noli, and Fili. Okay.
Yes.
So Marian had to get people outside of the country to make sure that it was the same. It would look the same. The paper was the same thinness.
Right.
The ink had to look like it was old, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this is one of the first times that the Philippines was doing that. And
And
at the
and
same
it's
time,
funny, and it's funny because it's too convincing that even I believed it was the original. Of course, before reading Ambet and knowing na nandun pala sa vault ng National Library. That's how good it was.
yes. And what maybe people have forgotten is, Shah, you'll have to be the one to double check this. But before the Centennial, we were already looking for documents. Okay. So, and we were already looking at the state of repair needed.
Right.
I think it was Ateneo, might have been Ateneo who came in. But there was somebody, and I think it was Ateneo, that came in and they pledged they were going to repair the Constitution,
Right.
the Rizal documents, that sort of thing. When I went looking for the oldest copy in the Philippines of the national anthem,
Uh-huh.
we couldn't find a handwritten score. And the oldest printed score that we found had Scotch tape.
Right. Right.
So that was the situation. And thankfully, because of all this, I would like to call it patriotism,
Right.
these things got fixed.
That's true. That's true.
People suddenly became aware, bakit ganyan? Hindi pwedeng ganyan. You know,
And- and-
you get touched. Hindi pwede talaga. Kailangan ayusin yan. Hindi maaaring ganyan.
And excited tayo because today, as of now, no, I just finished, and I think I can say this, I just finished the storyline and selected the documents for what would become the new National Hall of Documents.
Very good.
So this will all be displayed in the National Library, and I curated yung storyline and of what to put there, and of course in consultation with some friends. But I think it would be very good kasi kung ito yung continuation of the preservation that consciousness was in many ways triggered by the Centennial, diba? And being continued now kasi ngayon we had the director Jet Andriano, no, who is conscious na we have to preserve our documents, even employing a gas-based smoke detector and fire killer.
Oh, dapat.
So,
They
nagawa na
need.
gas-based. Yes. Hindi siya kapag ka naamoy yung usok, hindi tubig ang lalabas.
That's
It
right.
will be gas that would kill the smoke and the fire but will not destroy the paper, the
That's correct.
books.
Yes,
So, yeah.
meron. That's right. But when we were looking for documents, there is one document that we didn't find.
And what is that?
I suppose that there was a copy number 1 of the Malolos Constitution.
Wala nga. Wala. It's printed. What they have in the National Library is printed.
Correct. From that parang the newspaper, di ba, yung printed.
Yes. Yes.
But I have always wondered, was there not? I mean, think of the period. Granting there was already this threat of war with the United States and all of that, no? But still, knowing those people behind it, don't you think they want to sign something?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, wouldn't they want to sign? Paterno wants to sign. Aguinaldo wants to.
All our constitutions after that have signed copies by all the delegates. 1935, 1973, 1987. Ayan
That's
ang
what I mean.
yan. Now, of course, we're now wondering where those copies are of I think meron ng isang for sale yata noon na 1935 that was signed by everyone, hindi dapat hawak ng gobyerno yon. Now,
Dapat.
I am having the National Library check if they have copies of the other constitutions because I also want to put the constitutions there. Diba kasi yan ng basic document of democracy. Diba?
In Malolos, what we had, I don't know whatever happened to it, but in Malolos, the site was dedicated to the Constitution.
Yes.
And
It still is.
so,
Still is.
well, but what we had was a chart that I thought was very, well, we had to research how to do the chart. And the chart, because in the Philippines, I think we have several constitutions, right?
Right.
Whereas in other countries, they have one constitution and they make amendments.
Amendments. Yes.
Okay. So the question, of course, was the Malolos constitution valuable at all? Why did they have to keep making new constitutions? Okay. But these are questions that we were asked. So in
Right.
the field. So we wanted to address them through that museum. And I remember we had on the wall, we had something like the different rights, like people's rights.
Right.
And so we would have, this is Malolos had it, okay? Now, under those rights, over time, different interpretations of the rights come in. And so there are additional things, right? So then we show that the 1935 had that, but the others didn't have it yet. And then when we get to the 86 Constitution, we show that, anyway, we show how the development for each of
From
those.
the harmony of the constitutions, parang ganon. The harmony of the
Right.
gospel. Harmony of
And
the
then how Malolos had it. How it began with Malolos.
Yeah.
And then they added, so instead of putting an amendment, instead you have a new constitution.
I remember, I was given, I think before naubos yata yung kopya, o I think meron pa rin. They were giving in the museum this guidebook of the museum. There are two guidebooks, the copy of the Constitution in English and Spanish and English yata. And then a guidebook made by Professor Carganilla outlining the guide to the museum, including the ones that you're talking about, yung mga yan, ano? And then there's actually, ito yung maganda. There's comics made by Marcelo.
Good.
Remember?
Good.
Bata
Yes.
yun. So that the
Yes,
kids,
that's right.
so that the kids can go there and then they're given this Marcelo comics about the 1899 Constitution. They can understand why this place is important. So may mga ganong, the Centennial was able to trigger all this creativity, all these creative geniuses. To actually not just talk to people, but talk to children about the.
Oh yes, we tried something, but I don't think it was popular. We had a mailbox there, and we were trying we were trying to get students.
Right.
We were trying to get visitors to write I think it was to write the president or write the Senate or anyway, some official about whatever they wanted to write, but that they could drop it into that mailbox, and then it would get to that person. That there was an attempt, but I don't think that took off. No, but they weren't too keen.
Pero for many years, I don't know if the new curatorial had it, but naabutan ko pa yan na
may parang mailbox.
Yeah, may mailbox. We're not promised that it will be sent, but at least the exercise is exercise your right to voice out what you feel about the government and put it there. So it's a good thing for the kids.
That's good, right?
It's still there for many years.
Ayun. So yan,
So,
basta meron silang um, idea that you can speak your mind.
right.
Within bounds, okay, within bounds, you know, but you can speak your mind.
Okay.
So,
I think I have 3 questions remaining because I don't want
sige.
to keep you. Pero, one is, meron bang debate, sakit ng ulo na naranasan kayo that you can share in public, ano? Not that you cannot share. Not anything that you cannot share. That you can share to the public na parang naging struggle nyo sa commission. Was there like a contentious thing that at the top of your mind that you can remember na parang nag-away-away kayo or there was a strong...
Alam mo siya, wala.
That's good.
And I'm not being naive. I think that because the way it was structured, number one, within the commission, walang away. Okay?
Uh-uh.
Among the commissioners, walang away because that's it. We knew the budget. We knew where the budget was going. So, wala yan. Now, I don't know about after the commission and then it goes to different, to different other agencies. Now, yun hindi ko alam.
And this is where we're going to, of course, baka itanong sa atin, bakit hindi mo binibring up? The Expo Filipino Corporation. Kasi labas na kayo doon, di ba? Doon sa nangyari doon.
Iba yan. Okay. What I know of that. Okay. What I know of that. So you have the initial Philippine Centennial Foundation Incorporated, private sector.
Right.
Then you have Philippine Centennial Commission. Okay.
Right.
And then Clark Field was set up. How was that? So then Clark Field was set up because I think you should try to interview Nina Gabor.
Oh.
Because Nina had worked, as I understand it, Nina had worked very hard to try and have a World Expo in the Philippines.
Yeah, pero hindi sila nanalo, so they created
No.
an expo.
Their expos have different sizes.
Yeah.
So,
Ang nalaman ko, Mama, ito atin natin, hindi naman pwedeng atin lang, pero pinagalitan yata ng yung World Expo Committee, yung Philippine Expo. Bakit daw kayo gumawa ng sariling expo na hindi yung amin? Yung hindi yung amin.
Ayan, hindi ko alam.
Kasi naging World Expo yan eh. Parang naging World Expo yung Expo Filipino because you have Japan there. I went there.
Yeah.
I saw it. It became really a World Expo.
Kasi what I understood, because again, as I said, I'm not involved in it, okay?
Yeah.
But what I understood was that the Philippines had won some kind of a bid to have some kind of international expo, and they were going to do it in Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And so, since they were going to do that in, I think, 1999?
Yes, 1999.
Parang ganon. So then they said, we should probably have some Philippine Centennial exhibits also in Clark, because they would need that for the exhibition. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All of those projects were done by another group.
Yeah. Yes.
They were done by another group.
Baka yan yung Expo Filipino Corporation.
Okay. So that's different, right? That's another entity. And it had its own board of directors, its own whatever. Okay. And then I think the commonality was that they invited, I may be wrong here, I think they invited Doy to be like an honorary chairman or something. So his name appeared there as an honorary chairman. But he, as I understand it, he was not running it. That's a totally different for profit. That's different for profit yan eh.
Yes.
As I understand it. And then, when the new government came in, tapos na yung term ni President Ramos, and then the new government came in, I think, I mean, I don't know what started it, but it's as if the Clark projects and the Philippine Centennial Commission projects, some people thought they were one and the same.
We were being lumped together for
They were
political
being lumped together.
purposes. Sorry to say, you know.
No, I know where you're coming from. So some people thought that they were one and the same, and so that the commission's honesty was being questioned.
Yes.
When the projects that they wanted to investigate were the projects of the Clark thing,
Yes.
and not the commission. And I remember there was one young senator who interviewed Cesar Virata. Just so happened Cesar Virata and myself were together, and he started asking questions. And when we told him, but that's a different group, he was clearly unaware. So, because he cited a few projects, and Cesar and I looked at each other and he said, Cesar, have you ever heard of that? I said, no. I said, I haven't heard of that. Where? And I asked the Senator, where did you get that? Because it isn't one of our projects. I said, who, if you can tell us who the point person for the project was, then maybe we can tell you whether that person was, we can
Working
check
for you.
if that person was working on our staff.
Yes.
You know, but I said, the one you met, no, never heard of it. So there was this mix up, and I was personally saddened by it.
Yes.
Because the commissioners, okay, because the commissioners themselves were the ones who were now being doubted. And when you look at the names of those commissioners, they are all above board. These are people who are volunteering. We were using our own money. We were,
Right.
you know,
It's like private sector people na you would have done better doing other things, di ba? But they wanted to show their love for their country by doing government
Exactly.
service.
and then suddenly the whole group, you know, people would say, "But you were with them? Di ba you were with them?" I said, "Yes, I was, but I don't know anything about that problem they're talking about. That's another group."
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah, so yun. Yeah, at least we now clarify this, ano? And
right.
I've heard this, and poor Doy Laurel became a scapegoat of someone else who got away. So let's not leave it at that. Now, sige. Let's talk about, well, another thing popped out is the Philippine Centennial movement. Tell us about this, parang yung manifest. Alam niyo ba to yung parang nagbayad ng from a few pesos to 40,000 for membership? Ayan. So,
Di ko alam yan. Sino
ito,
yan? Kwento mo naman sa akin.
I will show you. Ito nabasa ko lang. That they're
Sige,
supposed
kwento mo sa akin. Ano yan?
a Philippine Centennial movement.
Okay.
Na, and then again, they are, and I think legit siya. It's
Oo.
probably for membership to drum up the Centennial. So, baka nga fundraising ito, which is
Oo.
probably in another department. So, pero nandito siya, no? I just cannot find
Oo.
the now.
No, kasi
Pero,
mine was very clear. Presidential funds.
right. To
So,
the museums. Diba?
yes. Very, very, very clear.
Mm.
Yan lang.
Now, we now go to, let's leave the cares behind of the Centennial and go to the happy day. What were you doing on June 12? Imagine yourself, go back to that day. What happened? What was your itinerary at that time? What were you thinking?
I wanted to be at the at Kawit during June 12th.
Morning yan, the morning.
Morning. Well, the thing was, poor Sandy. Sandy was frantic. She was still trying to finish the museum on the ground floor on
Si Baker.
June 11th. On June 11th.
Wow.
And me, kasi may pagka-hands-on tayo, I was there on the 11th, the whole day, to help. I mean, at least I have two hands, and I do know something about museums and putting them together and whatever.
Again, the context is the broadcast pool will be there on the morning of June 12.
Yeah.
And after the flag raising, President Ramos comes down to the museum to look at it. Diba? So, parang you don't make a fool out of yourselves in front of 80 million people, diba?
At saka they really wanted to finish it, but sometimes the materials didn't arrive on time.
That's
They
true.
need 3 days to set it up. By the time the glass panels arrive, they need 3 days. It comes late. They have only a day and a half. Yung mga ganyan. But, you're there to help and give a pep talk and then to check, because the story of Kawit, I don't know how it is now, but the story then, Sandy went to look at all the old pillows and the bedspreads and the curtains that
Right.
were still in storage. NHI did such a wonderful job, of keeping things together. And so for the 12th, the house looked exactly like it did when Aguinaldo was alive.
Yes.
The pillows looked like flags.
Wow.
The bedrooms were, I couldn't believe the colors. All of us were, ganun ba talaga? And I happened to have some old brochures of interior decorating. And so indeed, the strange color combinations like peach
Were
and
they-
green or maroon and off-white and whatever, those were the colors in those days. So Sandy set up the rooms like that.
Wow.
And I mean, you really, when you walked in and you saw those pillows that looked like Philippine flags on those wooden benches, I mean, yeah, it just really hits you. Then you look at the ceiling that's been restored, you say, no, this is a tribute. This whole house is a tribute to June 12th.
Right. Aguinaldo's tribute to the fellow heroes of 1898. Diba?
And Rachi Kuna,
Rachi Kuna. Yeah.
yeah, the floral artist. So
Yes.
Rachi was taken to help us with the Kawit Museum because we wanted to have, the old style, the way they would decorate with the flowers and the anahaw leaves. They would have like wreaths and then anahaw leaves crossed like that.
Right.
And then sampaguita festoons and things like that. And we said, now, how are we going to get something like that for the 12th? And we needed to last for 1 year. At least we said for at least 1 year. And so Rachi went to China. And he went to China and he told them what we wanted. And he ordered all those little sampaguitas for the festooning, everything. And they lasted for at least a year. But those things were not available locally. So the people, see, nowadays you say, oh, we can get all of that. We can even get so many fresh flowers. We can change the flower. No, in those days, it wasn't like that.
Ang galing, Parang ngayon nakita natin na we're really lucky after many, many years to have everything in our hands, diba?
Yes. Yes.
Mm. So what happened on June 12 in Kawi? Were you still in
Okay.
Kawi?
Anyway, so I started. So anyway, so I went there for the flag raising, and the way they had it, only the relatives of Aguinaldo and the president and his wife were supposed to be upstairs, and everybody else was supposed to be down. So I was there down, and that's why I have a really special place in my heart for Serafin Piason.
Mm.
June came down because he knew I was there, and he said,
Right.
"Goes, you don't belong down here." I said, "No, I am not related. No, if anybody should be up there, you should be the
Oh,
one
yun.
up there.
Oo.
Nakakahiya. Hindi, sama ka sa akin." So he brought me up, and we were there throughout the whole ceremony.
So you were in one of the windows.
No, it was at the back of the window. Because the
Ah,
windows are the relatives.
correct.
You know.
So nandun kayo sa... But you were there at doon sa loob ng room.
Upstairs.
Yeah. When
And then
Ramos read the proclamation.
yeah,
Diba?
and then the tour. And when we got, when they were doing this, I was like, oh boy, I hope nothing goes wrong here. I hope the hologram works. I hope that, everything is working.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Manila, and my husband and I went to the grandstand.
Right.
We were there the whole time, and we chose not to go to Malacanang.
For the Vandenur.
Yes. Instead, we wanted to be with the people.
Yes, that's
so-
true.
So my husband and I, we were walking there through Malate, Ermita. We saw friends. They were also there, and it was so nice because how would we greet each other? Kapatid. I think something we were things like, "Kumusta kapatid?" Yung mga ganyan. O, mabuhay ang Republika. We were saying things like that.
Wow, parang no? Parang people power.
Yeah.
People are nice to
But
you,
we
diba?
never said that during People Power. I mean, my husband and
Right,
I were
right.
also there in People Power. No, we didn't say things like that, It's not like it was not like, oh, there, what is that? What are you showing?
Kawit, and I'm going to show the tour. Diba?
Yes. Oh, show the tour. Look at that. There
Diba?
you go.
Ayan, baka maglakad sila. Ayan.
Ayan.
Naabutan ko
Ayan.
to Naabutan ko tong curatorial na ito
Naku, NHI was so magaling talaga sila.
Nahagip ka ba dyan? Puro mga Aguinaldo na to oh.
Yes. Kasi it's their family. Their family had to star there. Ganun naman talaga. Kaya kami ni
Right.
June and I are just there in the background looking. But at least I was able to be upstairs.
Yes.
That was so thoughtful of Serafin.
Ayan Sir June Quiason remembering you today. O diba? So anyway, yun. Well, people who can watch this, I requested the Radio TV Malacanang to give me the tapes of the Centennial. At least the morning, kasi yun daw afternoon parade, nasa archives na ni FBR, so hindi na nila ma-recover. So, the morning, I was given a copy, and we uploaded it in YouTube so that people can watch it. And the recording of the afternoon parade was my recording of the television. Medyo malabo, but you can watch it. So,
how nice.
It's so hard to get a recording that my recordings are the only recordings that the NHCP watched so that they can pattern that to what happened in the Quincentennial. But of course, what happened was the pandemic. But anyway, that said, nakatulong pa rin yun. Okay, singit ko lang dito kasi hindi ko nahanap yung part ni Ma'am Felice. Pero ito yung part ni Ma'am Felice while touring during the Philippine Centennial. So bago natin ituloy yung interview for its last few minutes.
By proving that peace and development can take.
Wala ba sa service? Wala. Tama yan.
Kasi na lahat ng ating mga bayani, kasama na doon ang Pangulong Aguinaldo at lahat ng mga Pilipino ng taong panahong iyon. Hanggang sa kasalukuyang binanggit na yung EDSA Revolution at yung paglampas natin sa nakaraang krisis lamang, lalo na sa kabuhayan dito, hindi lamang sa ating bansa kundi sa buong rehiyon ng Asya. At doon nga siya nauwi sa puntong sinabi mo, yung pagpapalawak at pagkonsolida ng demokrasya sa pamamagitan ng pakikilahok nating mga karaniwang mamamayang Pilipino.
Dagdag din siguro dun, Risa, no? Yung I remember one of the remarks that the president made. May ilang taon na rin nakalipas. Pero ang naaalala ko doon, especially doon sa remarks na nabanggit niya noon, I think it's also part of the themes na nabanggit niya sa araw na ito. Yung pag kinalimutan mo yung nakalipas, nawawala yung puso mo, yung nawawalang saysay yung buhay mo, no?
At nawawalan ka rin ng direksyon para sa kinabukasan.
A nation, if I remember correctly, yung remarks na nasabi ng ating Pangulo noon, was a nation that forgets its past is a nation that loses its soul. And yun nga, no, siguro habang sinasariwa natin at ginugunita natin ng mga mga activities na ito leading to the proclamation ng ating independence sa araw na ito, no? Siguro kailangan sabihin din natin, ikayatin natin ang ating mga kababayan na nanonood sa pagkakataong ito. Ganun din, ano? Yaman din lamang at ito'y hinain sa atin, ano? Binigay sa atin na legacy ng ating mga bayani. Pag-ingatan natin ito, sayang.
Napaka-precious, napaka-mahalagang yaman, dapat pakiingatan talaga. At isa sa buhay, dahil dun sa huli nung kanyang pahayag, ay itinuro na rin ng Pangulong Ramos ang ilang direksyon sa patuloy na pagsasabuhay at paggunita ng ating nakaraan, ay dapat patuloy tayo humangon ng inspirasyon dito para sa mga darating pang panahon at darating pang mga hamon. Siguro hanggang sa susunod na Centenaryo, Toby.
Maganda nga siguro, dapat. Dahil hindi tayo aabot ng second Centennial at Centennial celebrations kung hindi natin pagtitibayan, hindi natin iingatan. Hey, let's get back to what our viewers are seeing on their television screens, Risa. Ito, nakita natin ito. We were given the opportunity of a look-see, a walkthrough yesterday bago before everyone else, and natutuwa kami na yung curator or the guest curator na nagsaayos nitong it was an entire redo nung ilalim, yung unang yung first floor
format.
Yung first floor po nitong ating Aguinaldo Shrine, ng Aguinaldo Mansion, used to house yung mga memorabilia, mga paraphernalia ni General Emilio Aguinaldo.
At yun lamang, halos
yun
lahat
lamang,
ay
pero ngayon
laman.
binago nila the entire floor, Risa. At siguro maganda ring ihikayat natin sa ating mga kababayan kung may pagkakataon po kayong
kayo rito.
makapunta sa Kawit, Cavite, don't miss out in visiting the Aguinaldo Shrine dahil they've restored it, they've renovated it, they've retained the entire
Panda Maurice Morong Rizal.
Okay, I think that is the raw footage of the Philippine Centennial coverage, na nasama pati yung, so yung napanood nyo na sinasabi na Rizal Tiberos, hindi nasama yun sa broadcast kasi wala na pala sila on air, pero nagre-record pa din yung Malacanang, kasi hindi yung broadcast puli. So sige, let's continue our interview with on the final minutes of our interview with Felice Prudente. Santa Maria. I'd like to, for your final word siguro, for our interview, ma'am, when you were in the parade, and of course, you see the unraveling of Philippine history in front of you during the float, and maggagabi na, and of course, the end of the parade was people power. Diba? Cory Aquino was there, and someone playing Cory Aquino was there at the, and then of course, there's this float of the Filipino athletes that became successful in the past few years, and yung galing ng Pilipino was there, and then of course there was the fireworks display in Manila Bay. What were you thinking, that you have worked in the Centennial Commission, and here we are at that moment celebrating it? What were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I was glad to be with the people, with
Yes.
with regular people, and to hear them, be with them, and everybody was absolutely delighted. I think
Right.
everybody was sincerely happy. And for me, it's not just having been with the commission. You need to understand, my husband's great-grandfather was a Malolos delegate.
Again.
And he was also the first director of justice of Aguinaldo. So in his case, it's like their efforts weren't in vain. Okay, it's
Right.
like there's a continuity. And in my case, my father's grandfather was a Katipunero. He was a foot soldier of General Mascardo. So, and of course, we heard all the stories, about his grandfather, and things like that, and the Ating and things and all of that.
Right.
Right. I guess for sensitive people, maybe that's what it is also. For people who have the imagination, who maybe have this sensitivity to time and to continuity, it's like, oh my heavens, here we are. We're celebrating what they wanted.
Right.
They went through all that difficulty in 1898, and then you have World War II,
Right.
and my grandfather was almost killed there. My husband's father almost died because he was also supplying quinine to the underground.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, okay, it was worth it. It was worth their doing that. Then, of course, we were in the 86 movement, the 1986 movement, and that was also difficult, right? So again, 1898, World War II, the people power, and now we have this in 1998. It's like, okay, it's worth it. But can we keep this up? Can we make it better? I mean, we're all aware this isn't perfect.
Right.
It has to get better, and the circumstances will keep changing. Life is dynamic, culture is dynamic,
Right.
responses are dynamic, but let's just make this better for everyone.
In many ways, what you made me realize is that I always said that the Philippine Centennial for me was the highest point of our history after EDSA. It's like, we were, of course, there was Asian financial crisis in 97, but
Yes.
medyo kahit papano we're not as badly hit, no? And Fidel Ramos was our president, and he was really a competent guy. Parang it was a proud moment, and you see all those celebration, and then parang after that downhill, alam mo yun, parang after that there's like, the EDSA dos and the division of the country, and there was of course the controversies of PGMA and all of that, and eventually of course you had Noy for a brief time, but you have Duterte and BBM, again, I'm not saying na parang ano, pero alam niyo yung message nyo sa akin that and the whole interview and the difficulties that you had celebrating the Centennial in many ways tells us na those difficulties are not the things that we're going to meet today, because in many ways things are a lot more better after many years.
Yes.
Diba? I mean, we can always whine about politics, but in many ways, the middle class, dumami ang middle class,
Yes.
diba? There are so many things that we can still become hopeful for.
Yes.
So I think that is a good thing, looking back on the Philippine Centennial and how, and all these insights, the inside stories that tells me that it wasn't a very easy celebration in all the nitty-gritty details. Diba? Na parang ngayon, it's very easy to find yung mga some of the materials and all. I think ang laki realization sa akin, laki saysay sa akin nun. It's not trivial, pero ang laking saysay sa atin na we've come a long way after 25 years.
Yes.
And if we're going to look at it, there are just so many things that we now know because the Centennial opened so many doors.
True.
Diba? For inclusivity in the discourse of history and all of that. And of course, there's another narrative, of course, of UP starting the Centennial. But ano yan parang, of course, we are all operating in a different worlds
Yes.
Yun din yung problem doon. But at one point, I think they're going to meet. Diba?
Yes.
Kasi diba, there's the narrative of the group of Jimmy Veneracion wanting the UP president to celebrate the bicentennial of the French Revolution, because that celebration in 89 will connect us to the Philippine Revolution.
Correct.
So yun yung isa, no? And then of course, they had their efforts there. The UP had their Sentenaryo, diba? They had their own logo then.
Yes.
Diba? And all of these people will also be part of what will happen by 1996, which is the centennial of the revolution. So all of these efforts now, and then all of the private sector efforts of business, and all of the people wanting to celebrate, it's a beautiful collage
Yes.
of nationhood. Diba?
Yes.
People sabi mo, ang ganda ng sinabi mo kanina nobody wanted to be left out.
Yes.
And I feel, and I hope, that after listening to the story of the Philippine Centennial, you will feel proud to say, I don't want to be left out of being a Filipino. You watched the Gumburza, you saw the film, and you saw how we struggled from becoming a Filipino when we were refused that title before.
Yes.
Diba? And how we got it through our own efforts.
Yes.
And how many times we just take it for granted. I just hope that we will have a renewed we will have a renewed sense of pride when we identify ourselves as Filipinos. Ma'am Felice, thank you very much for your time. Salamat po. At
Salamat naman sa interview.
Opo, and all of these memory projects that we need will help our people navigate the next celebrations that will come in the future. The next milestones. This will be a very good help for all of them. Sige, maraming po salamat, ma'am, and God bless you.
Okay. Bye, Xiao.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Ma'am Felice Prudente Santa Maria. 8:43 p.m. po sa ating time ngayong 27 February 2024. That was a previously recorded interview na part 2 na natin ngayon. So, ayan, ang ganda naman ng ending na yun. The interview was recent but I already forgot how it went. But tama nga naman, We hope that we are not left out to being Filipino, or for being Filipino, di ba? Or to being Filipino, di ba? Na sana hindi kayo pahuli. Tara na, di ba? Maging Pinoy na tayo. So, I'm actually holding or wearing an actual Cap from the Philippine Centennial na pinirmahan po ni President Fidel V. Ramos. Ayan, oh. Nilagay niya sa nakalagay Tiger Xiao. Oh. And then Fidel Ramos yung kanya signature. Hindi ko na nalabayan, ha? Kasi talagang makasaysayan talaga. Okay? So, kaya natin ito. Kaya natin ito. Sige. Punta natin ngayon yung mga pagbati ninyo. Debbie Karen Gelsano, good evening. KF Diaz, Eden Ramos, no? Wally Micosa, Idol Shaw, good evening po. Yan. Felix Nahal Bagnol, EDSA, sabi, EDSA. Everyday, smile always. Buti naman positive ang sinabi mo. Tuko sa EDSA. Lorenzo Moronia, good evening, Professor. Mabuhay ang kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Wilfredo Ramos de Guzman Jr. Kanina pumalo na ng 50 yung viewers natin. Ngayon 22. Salamat po for staying and for listening to our sa mga team replay. Salamat po, no. Wilfredo Ramos de Guzman, bakas ng kahapon, aral na lalong magtulungan at pagmahalan ng bawat Pilipino para sa magandang bukas o kasalukuyang panahon. Po, Wilfredo Ramos de Guzman Jr., thank you po. Lourdes Bitara, makasaysayang gabi po. Of course, ang ating Las Piñas historian na hindi ko alam ang pangalan, pero salamat po, nakikinig mula sa bayan ng Las Piñas. Gretel Kikoy, good evening po, watching from Zambozur. Ang idea ko sa pagkuha ng datos about local food ay nakuha ko sa idea ni Ma'am Felice. Yes, ang ganda ng libro niya, Las Piñas Historian, di ba? Yung Cultural Workers Guidebook, kung hindi ako nagkakamali. No? Raceli Maxiem, Josh Neil Sumangid, Ana Cobalies. Magandang gabi po, Doc Shaw. Gemma Gales, watching from Guimaras. Nako, dapat lang nanonood sa atin. Oh. Batiin na rin natin, no? Jamin Marfred Agustin. Oh. Mula po sa seminarista ng Immaculate Conception Major Seminary in Bulacan. Nami-miss na po namin ng talk nyo. Oo nga. Alam nyo si Mr. Manalang, hindi siya sumasagot sa message ko. Pakisabi naman sa kanya na inaanap ko siya kasi alam ko may kailangan pa akong kunin sa kanya. O pakitawag niya si nakalimutan ko na si Mr. Manala kung ano ang name niya. O sige, mamaya kausapin kita, no? Si Mr. Manalang na kaibigan natin. Oo. Basta mahanap natin yan, ano? Sige. Nakakatuwa po dahil nakita ko po, sabi ni Jamin, seminarista, ang cap nyo, logo ng Centennial, na dinisenyo ng isang kababayan namin mula sa Bulacan. Oo, na-meet ko to si Ka Edgar Santiago. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas, mabuhay ang kasaysayan. Kumbaga, naswertehan ni Kae dahil sa talent ni Sir Edgar Santiago yung logo ng Centennial, no? Talaga naman, no? That defined. At by the way, pinadala ako ni Felice Prudente Santa Maria. Dito papakita ko lang sa inyo. Sinuwerte ako Kala ko tsokolate. Pagbukas ko, kakapadala lang niya to this week, no? Yung mga pins ng Sentenaryo, kadami. Ang dami niyang binigay, no? Iba-ibang klase. Ito tulad nito, pin ng Malolos Republic 100 years. Ayan. Kasama niya ito. Ito yung pangmurang version, ito yung pang Shala. Ito yung sa June 12 na Centennial pin. Noong June 12. Tapos ito, ayan, may ganyan pa, Ayan, yan. Ayun, may pin. At ang daming version yan na ibinigay sa akin. Meron pa, ito yung pinakamatindi dyan. Siguro kailangan ilabas ko na ito. Kasi mahalaga to Binigyan ako ni ma'am ng Jose Rizal Centennial pin. Ayan, Wala bang ilaw dyan? Ilaw. Yan. yung Jose Rizal Martyrdom, Centennial, at ito ka bakla. No? Binigyan niya ako ng, at ito bata pa daw siya, meron na daw siya nito. Yung design, at original to, noong 1961, 100 years birth ni Jose Rizal. Oh my God. Inikilabutan ako. Oo. Actually, may mga iba pang pins, cups na binigay sa akin, si Jacob Shelter. Si Jacob Shelter po ay isang from the Centennial, cup. Na si Jacob Shelter, isa siyang, yung nag-ano ng mga VHS tapes. Actually, pinaubaya ko na sa kanya yung mga VHS tapes ko para mabigyan ng pansin at mapapakinabangan maging ma-transfer, video transfer kumbaga. So Ma'am Felice, thank you so much po sa mga regalo nyo, sa mga na ito, sa mga handog ninyo sa akin. Iingatan ko ito. Salamat po. Alright, no? Sige. Kung may mga tanong ba kayo, no? May mga pagbati, no? Diyan ba? From Gimaras, mukhang yun na yung huli, no? Yaje Magales from Gimaras. Salamat. Okay. Yan. Okay. Si Lynn Badoy ng US, papauwi ngayon, film. Hello, Lynn Badoy. Napakaganda ng conversation natin last time sa People Power Monument, no? During the EDSA 13. Kasama ng mga historians, of course, Eufemio Agbayani, si Rolf Bonifacio ng Project Saysay, at si Carl Pasula Suyat. Okay. So siguro, kung wala na kayong tanong kay Ma'am Felice, no? Ako'y nagpapasalamat, no, sa inyong lahat. Teka lang last na lang. Alam ko may mga sinagot yata si Ma'am Felice. Ayan, oo. O, sabi ni Ma'am Felice Prudente Santa Maria, no first airing natin, wow, thank you for revisiting the 1992 to 1998 effort. Hope your audience kept their interest up. I didn't think you were recording it to show. Thought it was for your own research. Although, nasabihan ko naman si Ma'am, glad I put on a little makeup. Yes, I'm very happy you're airing in your Vibal. So nice of you to share with your young generation. Keep well and dedicated. No? Yan. I asked you beforehand na I will put it in my FB kasi para pakinabangan ng ibang researchers. Of course, this might trigger na the finding of the Centennial materials in NHCP. Kasi nga, yun nga, ang daming hindi na makita yung mga ibang mga files dahil nga nung nawala yung National Centennial Commission, parang may nagsabi sa akin nakatambak na lang daw yung mga files ng commission sa National Historical Institute, no? Na parang yun yung dating secretariat. Okay, ayan, no? Yeah, okay. So sige, siguro magano na tayo, no? Mga last comments nyo, okay na, wala na. Alright, sige. So next 2 Tuesdays from now, meron na naman tayong siguro kakapanayamin o meron na namang mainit na issue tayong pag-uusapan tungkol sa kasaysayan. Pero tandaan po natin kahit na po may mga pagkukulang po ako at ako'y humihingi ng tawad, lalo na sa oras kasi talagang ang dami nating ginagawa, no? Hindi po ako nagrereklamo pero Marami talaga tayong ginagawa. Ikakasal pa rin kasi ako, so I really need to work hard. But please know that my commitment to Kasaysayan Kaysaya sa aking mga audience and to bringing this show every 2 Tuesdays ay talagang priority ko talaga yan. Minsan hindi nakakayanan ng katawan lupa, minsan may mga schedule na but I see through it that every 2 Tuesdays we are here to serve you. Kaya ako'y nagpapasalamat sa Vibal for giving me this opportunity. And now, again, as I said, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, sumasampa na pong on its 5th year. Diba? 4 years pa lang, pero on its 5th year, narito pa rin tayo. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024 na. Pero may kasaysayang kaysaya pa din. Salamat, Vibal. At more success to all of us. Ipagdiwang natin ito tulad ng pagdiriwang natin ng Philippine Centennial. Pagdiwang natin ng EDSA, pagdiwang natin lahat ng milestone ng Pilipinas. At pagka may milestone ng Pilipinas, pag-usapan natin ang ating kasaysayan. Ako po si Xiao Chu, isang public historian na nagsasabi, lagi po nating tatandaan, ang kasaysayan ay kaysaya. Bye-bye.
Sa puso't isip laging kukupkupin mga gunitang sa ating nakarating. Bayan pukawin sa diwa't damdamin. Pangarap ng kahapoy ating tuparin. Marami pang bagay ang dapat tuntunin. Mga aral ng nakalipas ay susulatin. Malayong kahapoy sisikapin pang libutin. Nalalaman ay atin pang pauunlarin. Salam sa kaibig-ibig mong layunin. Padayon sa iyong pagiging tinig ng kahapong nagnanais na marinig ng ngayon at ng bukas na darating. Luwit ka mananalaysay sa iyong papel. Turuan ang mga kababayan na daigin. Agam-agam sa sarili, dangal papag-alabin. Kabayan, bayan na kabutihay, landasin. Mula sikulan hanggang mabulis, hilig sa nakaraay payabungin. At kung